This is Billy Batson. Make sure you make him feel at home.
They seem nice, but don't buy it. It gets real Game of Thrones around here. Dude, just messing around. You look at me and you're like, why so dark? You're a disabled foster kid. You've got it all.
If you could choose a superpower, would you choose invisibility or flight? That is the movie that we're going to be talking about today, which is entitled Shazam, as that question is asked in the movie. And personally, if I was to choose real quick, I would probably choose invisibility. I think that would be a really cool power to have. But besides that, we're going to move into talking about Shazam today, and as normal, we're going to break it up into two parts. We're going to talk about the content of the film, and then we're going to go into my thoughts of the film overall.
If you could have one superpower, what would you pick? Everybody chooses flight. You know why?
So they can fly away from this conversation?
No, because heroes fly.
So right now we're going to jump right into the content portion of my review. Alright, so Billy Batson is a 14-year-old kid. He's really, he's on his own because he's a foster kid. His mom left him at a very young age, and he's been trying to find her since. So he gets in trouble, he breaks the law, so he keeps having to jump from foster family to foster family.
You've run from foster homes in 6 counties.
I can take care of myself.
When you're 18.
However, one day when he's on his way home from school, he is interrupted on the train and he's taken to this weird wizard, fortress, if you want to call it, lair, whatever you'd like to call it, where he is granted the powers of Shazam, all-powerful superhero that is meant to fight the 7 deadly sins.
My name so my powers may flow through you.
But I don't know your name, sir.
Shazam.
Are you for real? Say, okay! Shazam?
Now, when Billy first gets these powers, he doesn't think he's worthy of them. He thinks that it's the person that's giving him the powers is the wrong guy. He clearly says, I'm not a pure person, I don't deserve this. However, as he gets his powers, he begins to learn that he has a responsibility to protect those around him. This film also goes into the importance of family. Even if it's a foster family, they put the importance of being able to stick together and work together as a family, and they encourage one another, which is very great to see. Now, if you move over to Rotten Apples, there is a lot wrong with this film when it comes to some of the humor and stuff that is portrayed. If you look at violence content, the 7 deadly sins are they look like monsters from your nightmares. They literally eat people's heads off. You see them ripping apart humans. I mean, you don't see much blood or anything, as a lot of it's done off screen, but it is very gruesome, especially one scene. But the 7 deadly sins are very scary looking, so that can bring some fright into some people that watch this film. You also see other violent content, as in people use lightning bolts and to fry these monsters, and there's just some of that type of violence in here. Not much blood is seen throughout the film. There's a little bit, but that's mostly what I see from violent content. If you move over to sexual content, there is quite a lot of this. Since Billy is able to look like an adult, he does some adult things that he really is not supposed to. He goes to a club with suggestive themes, and he's asked if he sees inappropriate parts of other people. So it's really, that's really inappropriate. We also have other scenes where people are throwing underwear at each other, and when they got a suitcase wedgie. So you have a couple of potty humor jokes. I don't know how to pee in my suit, that kind of things. So there's definitely some of that in there. They go and try to purchase beer because they look like they're over 21. Granted, they think it's disgusting, but they do try to do that. So what a typical teenager like that may do, you can expect that in this film. And it's played for laughs, but it's really not fun. So if you move over to spiritual beliefs, I wanted to include this in this review because there are some interesting beliefs in here. The belief is that Shazam's got to keep the 7 sins at bay and he's got to have his he's gonna have his family eventually help him protect the world from them. So we hear about Zeus and all these powers that Shazam has with Zeus and all kinds of like other spiritual beings. So there's definitely that spiritual element to that. Mostly that's discussed in the beginning, like the first 30 minutes, and then you just get to the funny parts. But yeah, there is definitely that in there to just let you know. If you move over to let's see. If you move over to drug content, we already discussed about the whole beer that they purchase. I'm looking at my review here. There's a couple more things that I haven't touched base on. So if you have any more questions about this movie before you watch it, go ahead and check out my webpage at appletreemovies.com and search for Shazam. I got a really detailed what goes on down here. The only other thing I want to touch on in this video review is the language. There's the Lord's name is misused about 10 times, and we hear a couple other name calls that are pretty inappropriate using very vulgar language that it's on my review if you guys wanted to go check it out. Highly recommend that. The H word's used about 5 times, and at the end of the film, actor is interviewed after the final fight, and he's constantly blurting out F-bombs. Of course, they're bleeped because it's an interview, but that is
the
there.
only person I know that knows anything about this Cape Crusader stuff.
Can I?
Oh, yeah. That's crazy, right?
What are your superpowers?
Superpowers, dude? I don't even know how to pee in this thing.
So now we're going to jump over to my thoughts of the film. I think that it was a decent film from DC. I think it was pretty funny. I consider this film to be the equivalent to Thor Ragnarok in Marvel. I think that it was a great way to set up a superhero for the future. I think that it was really funny. I think it was entertaining. I do think that some of the humor was a little bit unneeded, but I do think overall that it was pretty funny. I mean, a kid becoming an adult immediately by just saying one word is kind of curious. It's something that we really haven't seen before, so I think that that's kind of interesting to see. Overall, I think that the lesson of family and how they need to stick together is really great to be able to see in a film like this. I really enjoyed those parts where Billy starts off with, look out for number 1. Don't worry about other people. But eventually he learns, I gotta look out for other people because that's what a superhero does. Great power comes great responsibility, to quote Spider-Man. So I really did enjoy that. I also enjoy how at the end they're able to all work together as a family to defeat the villain rather than Shazam just having to do it by himself. So overall, I think this film gets 6 out of 10 just because of some of the horrific monsters and some of the language and humor that's in here. But overall, it's a decent DC film. It's better than some of the stuff that's coming out these days. So if you guys enjoy a funny superhero movie and you guys love seeing DC films or even Marvel films, highly recommend that you guys give this a check out. Like I said, if you want a more in-depth review, go ahead and check me out on my website, appletreemovies.com. Search for any movie review you'd like. And if you guys have any movie you'd like me to review, let me know in the comments and I'll get that done for you. Thank you and have a good rest of your day.
Gentlemen!
You have bullet immunity!
I'm bulletproof.
You're dead.